Hello and welcome viewers. You are watching Crimson Rays. Let's read. In this video we are going to discuss about a very beautiful poem, The Lake Isle of Innisfree, written by William Butler Yeats. And we are going to discuss many important aspects about the poem. So I would request you to continue the video to watch till the end. So before getting into the poem, let us discuss about the poet William Butler Yeats. William Butler Yeats, he was born in the year of 1865 and he passed away in the year of 1939. He was a very well-known Irish poet, and not only a poet, he was also a very well-known dramatist. He was deeply devoted to the cause of the Irish independence and played a very important role in reviving the general public's interest in the island's cultural heritage. And Yeats was awarded with the Nobel Prize in the year of 1923 that made him the first person to be awarded with this prestigious prize. Now let us get directly into the poem. Before that, a brief introduction of the poem. The poem The Lake Isle of Innisfree is a 12-line poem comprising 3 quatrains. This poem was written in the year of 1888 and it was finally published in the year of 1890. To talk about the place Lake Isle of Innisfree, I have to tell you that the Lake Isle of Innisfree is a real place near the coast of Ireland. It is not inhabited, kind of desolate island, and it is situated in the county Sligo in Ireland. The lake itself is approximately 5.5 miles in length and 1.5 miles wide. Yeats would go to Sligo as a child on vacations, especially on his summer vacations, and it was a very good memory for him. He spent quite a few interesting and enjoyable days there. Later, in the year of 1888, while Yeats was in London and he was walking down the Fleet Street, he got the inspiration to write this poem when he recollected his fond memory of the beautiful days that he spent at Innisfree. That is the time when he decided to write a beautiful poem on the place Innisfree. And the poem which we are reading now is the result of that recollection that he suddenly got on the while walking on the street of London. Okay, so that is the brief introduction about the poem. Now I'm going to explain the poem, read the poem, and we'll try to make you understand. So please continue the video. And the poem starts like this. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honeybees, and live alone in the big loud glade. Yeats opens the poem with a wish to go back to Innisfree. He wants to take a break from the modern society and all of the hectic madness it can bring, and go back to the place he loves, Innisfree. The poet then continues to describe Innisfree. There he wishes to build a cabin of clay and wattle to live in. Wattles are the strong sticks that are interwoven to form a structure. The poet imagines that there he will be planting the 9 bean rows, and there will be beehives for honey. He then will live there all by himself in the beloved glade. Glade is a kind of open forest And the poet imagines that the place will be buzzing with the bees. Here, the poet brings out a contrast. He expresses that here all he will hear is the loud droning of the bees and not the droning of the modern civilizations. It shows that the poet is completely exhausted with the din and bustle of the modern civilization, and he wants to take a break, and he wants to go back to the place of his childhood where he spent a lot of beautiful and memorable days. The second stanza starts like this: and I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the veil of the morning to where the cricket sings. Their midnights all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evening full of the linnet's wings. Here the poet says that when in Innisfree he will feel peaceful. He also says that feeling of peace is felt very slowly and gradually. During morning, when it is cloudy or when the atmosphere is covered with mist, there it will appear as if the morning has worn a veil and has hidden itself. Veil, is a kind of piece of cloth which normally the women wear on their head to hide their face. So here the poet is imagining in the morning when the atmosphere will be cloudy or misty, it will seem that as if the whole nature is hiding its face behind a veil of mist or veil of cloud. Here it is also an example of personification, where the poet is personifying the nature as if it is a woman. Further, the poet says that when the male cricket insect will sing, the sound will bring him at peace. Also, at midnight, when he will see the twinkling stars in the open sky, and there he will be very happy, and that will give him a lot of peace. And in the afternoon, when the sunlight will give a crimson glow, it will be a peaceful sight for the poet. Moreover, when the linnet's bird will be flying in the sky, and the island will be full with the fluttering of the linnet's wings, that will be also very peaceful, very satisfying sight for the poet. Linnet birds, kind of brownish small type of bird, and the poet is imagining that the poet might have seen the linnet's bird in the Lake Isle of Innisfree while he is spending his days in childhood. That's why he is imagining that the linnet's bird will be still there fluttering in the afternoon. Okay, that would be a very exciting, a very peaceful and very satisfying moment for the poet. Now the last part, the third stanza, the third quatrain of the poem, tells that I will arise and go now, for always night and day I hear the lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey, I hear it in the deep heart's core. In this stanza, the poet says that now he will stand up finally, and he will definitely go to Innisfree, because all the time the sound of the lake water striking the shore repeats in his mind, in his heart, in the deep core of his heart. It beckons him towards the Lake Isle of Innisfree. Whenever he is either standing on the roadway or on the grey pavement, he hears the sound deep in the innermost part of his heart. Thus, the poem ends on a very sad note when the poet expresses the striking contrast between his present state and his desire. He desperately wants to get back to the isle and have some peace and tranquility because he is tired and exhausted with the hustle and bustle of the worn out modern civilization. But the sad fact is that he is at present unable to return back to that blissful place because he is stuck in the modern civilization. He is stuck in the din and bustle, hustle and bustle of the modern civilization. But his heart desperately wants to get back to that place and have some peace of mind there. So here the poet is actually trying to give us the message that the nature can be the best source of peace for human being. All the modern civilization, all the gifts of science are unable to give us that degree of peace and satisfaction that we can get from the bosom of nature. That is the message of the poem, that we should get back to the nature, we should enjoy it, we should have some peace from nature. Now let me tell you about the various literary devices used by the poet in this poem. First of all, the rhyme scheme. Yeats has used a very simple rhyme scheme in this poem, which is like A B throughout the poem. Then the poet has used the technique of repetition. The first line of the first quatrain opens like I will arise and go now, and the last quatrain, first line, also opens like I will arise and go now. So here the poet has used repetition. Next, personification. The poet has used personification when he is telling the veils of the morning. Here the poet is personifying the nature as if the nature is a woman wearing a veil. Alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of the consonant sounds. In the line lake water lapping with low sound, here the L sound is alliterating, lake lapping low, and the W sound, that is water and with, are also alliterating. So these are the different figure of speech, different literary devices used by the poet in this poem. I hope you have understood the poem and it is quite clear to you. If you have any queries, you can leave your comment in the comment box. You can leave your question in the comment box. I'll be always there to answer your question, answer your queries. So please continue with this channel and please watch all the video. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe the channel and click the bell icon so that you can get the notifications as soon as I upload any class. Thank you, channel. So thank you